Would it be supportive to start with the Muse method and then kind of jump into where we want to begin?
Oh yeah, sorry. I meant like mentally. Mentally, physically. Yeah, my lights are like down super low. Like my head is pounding, and yeah. I'm a mess.
Mm, my body's
But
loud right now.
yes.
So maybe if your head is pounding, maybe bring your hands to your head to just let your body know that you feel what's going on when we're doing this.
Mm,
Now just really sink in and follow your breath as your eyes are softly closed and just start to connect and expand. Connect with what's here, knowing that the pain is here to remind you of what matters. And just expand as far as feels safe. That might just be in your body today.
mm-hmm.
So let that be what it's going to be and just be here now. And I'll walk you back in about a minute. And just allow in 3 more breaths and just notice what happens or what shows up in you as I ask, what would support your body? What would be supportive for your body tonight?
Mm.
And you can share or not. You get to choose.
Ah, it would be. So I have like 50 thoughts at 50 thoughts at once. Um, well, I'm kind of already doing like what I think would be best was my one partner was they're doing an open mic tonight, and I was supposed
Mhm.
to attend with like my best friend, and I just said like I just like do not feel well at all. So like, and it's like at 8 o'clock at night, which is late for me. And so I had said like I'm sorry, like I feel really bad, but I just, like my body is just, yeah. So I'm supporting my body by not going because that would just be, yeah, very draining. And um sleeping, getting a good night's sleep would feel really good, and like having lights, like no lights. And probably having some toast.
Mm.
Yeah, my stomach's been, well, Will had the flu, like the legit flu last week,
Oh, shoot.
um, and was laid out for the entire week. Um, which like hit me not like full force, but I'm definitely off. Um, thank God I'm like still, like upright because he was like horizontal for days and days and days. Um, yeah. So yes, basically just to answer your question, doing all of that and, just going home and doing what I need to do.
Awesome. And what I hear you saying is that you're honoring your body's yes, which is resting and supporting your
Hmm.
body's needs, which is not doing very little,
Yes.
having
Yes.
toast, going to bed early.
Yes. Oh my gosh, going to bed early. That's just so nice, and just, yeah. Um, I just don't have the energy, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Just don't have the energy. Um, and yeah, I mean, I was just like walking around today at work, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't like throw up as I'm walking down the middle of the hallway.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it was just gross. Just yeah, whatever, like, Will's germs, and luckily Tegan's like she's fine. But
And she was sick
yeah,
last week, so that's
yes. So it's just making its way. It's going around.
oh,
Um
you get to enjoy your day off? Or was
I
he
did. Oh my
okay.
gosh. Yes. So my day off, I was able to go get my tattoos on my fingers, which I think I told you about.
Yes, I
So,
was staring at them. I'm like, okay, those are new. They're
yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. And I got home Tuesday
Mhm.
evening, and Will was just like dead on the couch. And then Tiki was sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, Mommy, like, Daddy's sick. And I'm like, yeah, I see that. And I was like, why didn't you call me? Like, I would have skipped, like, I would have come home. He's like, no, no, no. Like, I wanted you to go to your appointment. It's fine. Like, that was like the one thing you were looking forward to. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, very, very sweet. But yeah, I got home, and then he was just like, that was it, down for the count.
Yeah. Mm. But you still
Yeah,
took care of you. And he even acknowledged, he's like, nope, I wanted you to take care of you.
yes. Yeah. And then after that, he was like asleep for like 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then I took care of things. And yeah, very much just like honored what I needed after that. Like by the time Friday came around, I was, exhausted. And my best friend had messaged me, and she's like, "Oh, did you like want to hang out?" And I told her straight up honestly, I'm like, you're welcome here, but I'm super crabby and I'm super tired. She's like, don't care. I'm just gonna like fold my laundry or whatever like next to you, and I'm like, it's nice to have people where you don't feel like you have to,
Do
entertain
anything.
them or mask or anything, because I was not a capacity to do that. So yeah.
I'm really celebrating you for just owning your truth and naming
Oh
it.
yeah. I was like, I'm not hiding anything. I'm like, no, I'm grumpy, not towards you, but just, it's been, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And I love that you got those tattoos. Like, I feel like that's on your left hand, right?
Yeah, I have, they're on
Both
both.
hands.
So the intricate ones are on my left
Yeah.
hand, yeah. And then my uh
The
element
simple.
symbols are on the right.
Okay. I love that you did both hands, like the feminine and the masculine, like embodying both, and the more intricate on the feminine.
My
Oh,
arm,
what did you
I,
say? You're cutting out right now.
oh, sorry. I just said, I love them, and I feel like they've been a part of me.
They look
Like I've
like it.
always had them.
Yep.
Yes. Just tattooed them on, and I was like, oh, I feel like they should have been here, like forever.
And they were, in some senses, they were.
And yes, there's the vision. I was just like getting them on. So I still got to do that, which is all I wanted to. So I did get that. And yes. So that was the one thing I wanted. And I was able to enjoy that. And then, was able to take care of things at home, um, and help Will out. So that was good. And then did what I needed to do during the weekend, just to like take a break. And then
Uh-oh. I had a sense her might be better if her video's off. I see you're back, Emily, but I don't know if your audio is connected. Mm, this is weird. Hmm.
oh, can you hear me?
Oh, now you're there. I was like,
I'm
you're,
here. I'm here. Sorry. It took a minute to boot up, but I'm here.
yeah. And if for some reason the connection's unstable there, then just turn off your video so the audio will still, because sometimes that helps.
Okay. Yeah.
So, what's been showing up for you since our last session together with some of the mindful practices that you were going to experiment with? And
Uh, I, what day was it? Friday. Friday, um, I it had just been a long week. And so, like Will was sick. And then I ended up having to work some extra hours because one of my teammates had COVID.
oh, shoot.
And that was very, like sudden. And so by the time Friday got around, and usually that's my work from home day, but I had to come in at, you know, so I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so angry. Like,
Mm.
yeah, just mad. I'm like, this, week is not went how I wanted it to. And I'm like, yes, I did get my tattoos. That's, so that was great.
Yeah.
And uh, it was lunch on Friday, and one of my friends wanted to come visit me on lunch. And I was like, like, I really need to walk, like,
Mhm.
during lunch today. And they're like, oh, yeah, go for it. It was like 15 or 20 degrees, but I didn't care. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to walk. Like, I know this is what, like, I need to do. So, my coworker thought I was crazy, but I, like, whatever, put on my coat and, like, hat, and I brought a mask. And there's a trail by MCC that you can take, and it was like covered in snow. But I'm like, I don't even care. I'm walking through this snow,
Yep.
and it felt so good. Like it was cold, but I walked for 30 minutes, actually a little more then, because like the snow kind of slowed me down. So probably closer to 40.
Yeah.
Um, and I could like feel when I was walking, like the resistance of the snow, with my boots.
Yeah.
Um, but it felt so good because I felt so mad, and it felt like it was like releasing my frustrations and my anger. And I was sweating, which also felt good because even though it was really cold outside, I could feel like my body was hot.
Right.
Um, and I was just like thinking of what we had chatted about. And I was like, I don't care that it's like super cold outside. Like, I'm going outside and I just need to walk. Like, this is what I need to do. And I did. And I felt so much better. I don't know. I just needed to like move, like move the energy, especially just
Yeah.
feeling angry with everything that was, going on. That felt good.
Mm.
Um, I'm trying to think what came up. Well, that wasn't well, I guess it was mindful, but it was, me trying to like move my anger. Um, and then I, what day was it? Saturday or Sunday? It doesn't matter. One day this weekend, I took probably about an hour
Mhm.
to like be outside, do animal stuff, but
Yeah.
also like, outside stuff. And that was very soothing. And I have two rabbits. I don't know if I told you, I have two rabbits. And my female rabbit had babies.
Oh.
Yes, and they're 2 weeks old now, and they just started to open their eyes, and that has been like a huge thing, like for me, like going out and like checking on how the babies are doing, and that just like fills me with so much joy. Like I've never experienced like I've bought animals as babies before, like chicks and ducks, but just see like the full life cycle is so cool.
Oh, what a gift.
Yes, it's bringing me so much happiness. Just these, I don't know, these babies, and like my bunnies, like are such good parents, like the dad bunny, like such a good dad bunny, just so sweet. Um, I don't know. So that's been bringing me a lot of like joy. Um, I don't know. I feel more, I want to say grounded. I feel like my anxieties aren't as loud as I'm focusing on other things,
Okay.
like my rabbits, or my animals. I don't know, like just having something that's mine,
Hmm.
like my like passion and projects too, but like just having that, um, I don't know, it focuses my mind on like other things. Um, So, I mean, yeah, stuff came up where like I had some additional responsibilities as like Will got sick and whatever, taking things on at work, and that was hard. But it wasn't like I feel like I didn't do any like disservices to myself, you know?
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah, like still taking care of myself and still like finding time to do things like for me, which is, going and doing my barn things or other stuff. But that, was like particularly soothing. I feel like I didn't have any, I don't know, extra anxieties until today, really. Like I
Hmm.
felt like, yeah, like last week was hard. I didn't feel anxious about it though.
Yeah.
Um
Hmm.
yeah, today I feel more of the anxieties, but also I know my period's about to come like
Okay.
tomorrow or the next day. So that is always like a tougher, it's usually like 2 days before really tough where um my mood's a little lower, I feel more sad. And like me like not feeling well too like also like triggers things. um
Yep.
yeah, so today has been with that like not the greatest, but
Well, it's
surprisingly last week with all like the hard stuff it wasn't bad.
well, and what did it? I have two questions. So I'll start with
Mhm.
last week because we started there with your mindful practice. And from what you shared, Emily, you were being mindful. I just want to acknowledge that because you were noticing
Ah, okay.
the distance of the snow and you were present to it. So that's being mindful, like just noticing the resistance and letting that actually be like, this resistance is a way for me to move the anger.
Yes, it
You
felt really
were,
good.
and it felt good. So, what did you taking the time to move the anger, what did that create for you?
Like a sense of release.
Okay, awesome. And you said you felt so much better after.
Yeah, because I felt like just like I just needed to get out, like I needed to get out
Yeah.
of the space, the building, like get outside and like move, and I didn't also want my mood to like ripple and affect other things. So I'm like, I need to go like do something with this.
And I'm curious if you, and it's okay if you don't, no. Did you notice if there was a message that the anger was rising up in you to share? Did it have a message for you?
If like putting myself back in that place, it was just like a lot of validation
Hmm.
and not like beating myself up over feeling angry. Like I felt like, no, like it's okay to feel like angry right now. Like there's nothing like wrong with that.
Yeah,
And I think for me that's big because like, growing up, we were shamed for having like any other emotion. So it's like, oh, you're
right,
not allowed to feel angry, and we would
right.
often feel guilt, or I would feel guilt for feeling these things. Um, and I was like, no, like I'm okay to feel angry and I'm just gonna like feel mad right now and just like walk and that is okay.
That's huge, Emily. That is
Yeah.
beyond huge. because you acknowledge what was there and you let it move through you rather than taking it out on others or impacting the energy of the space.
Oh
You're like,
yeah.
I'm going to go move this. I don't care if it's 15 degrees out. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You were sweating by the end. Your body felt good. Like all of it was like really, it sounds like really supportive. And then on the other side of it, like it seemed like there was more freedom in you based on what you described from the weekend of like with the rabbits and like able to be present with them and the baby bunnies and like it gave you by acknowledging the anger and moving the anger through your being and not feeling guilty about it,
No.
it allowed you to have more freedom over the weekend and your free time.
Yeah, because I didn't feel angry. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, coming off a very long week, but like I didn't feel mad. I felt very much um like we actually didn't have any plans, which was wonderful. And I was like, this is great. I love this. We're able to just be,
Mhm.
and that's all I wanted was that. Um, I guess I forgot that this happened last week. The only weird thing, I forget what night it was, but there was one night I had a horrendous night's sleep. Um,
Hmm.
from a bad dream that I had, which sometimes like I always have weird dreams.
Okay.
And usually it's fine. Sometimes though they can be pretty vivid. Um, especially like right before my cycle. But this one was about my dad. And it was pretty disturbing.
Mm.
And I felt really weird when I woke up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this was a dream. But I found myself questioning like, is there any truth to this? I don't
Mm.
I don't know. I still feel weird about it. And then there was something I needed to drop off at my parents' house Sunday, and I thought they weren't going to be home, which is why I went.
Yeah.
And I opened the door and they were there, and it completely took me off guard. And I saw my dad. I was like, wow, I feel like there are like alarm bells going off in my body and I need to get out of here. So I just handed what I needed to hand and then I left. Um, yeah, so that was weird. But I'm having a hard time sorting, how do I phrase this? Like my dream was a dream, but the feelings feel very real.
Hmm.
And is that any indication of the kind of person he is? And I feel like I don't know, like when I went there to drop off the stuff, I saw my dad. And part of me was like, no, like this is like he's not gonna do anything like that to you. Like, whatever. He's just like watching football on the TV, whatever, it's fine, he's chill. And the other half is like, okay, but why did I have this like super vivid nightmare? Um, I don't know. So I'm in a weird place. Um, I don't know. I mean, I've been in a weird place with my parents where I feel like I know they're real human beings, but sometimes I look at them and I'm like, oh, I can't believe you're my dad and you're my mom. I don't know if that makes sense, but um, I don't know. So I've been feeling weird about that too. Like I can't
Well,
decipher truth from not.
yeah. So I'm curious, are you open to work shifting perspective around dreams, nightmares?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what if your nightmare
Hmm.
happened as your subconscious's way to purge something and move through something so you did not have to deal with it in waking reality?
Oh, interesting.
So rather than it being weird or disturbing, thank you, mind, for helping me to process that so I didn't have to deal with it in waking reality.
Hmm. Can you like expand on that?
So we operate primarily from our subconscious mind, whether we consciously know it or not. And
Mm.
oftentimes there's things that we can't, that are too intense for us to like deal with in our waking reality. So our subconscious mind is so genius that it will literally bring up these nightmares to purge the things, to get them out of us so that we can just show up in whatever the situation is.
Mm,
So that's, I mean, I think it's here for you. The way I look at dreams and the study, the like learnings that I've had is take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I'm just going to say that is
mm,
that every part of your dream is some aspect of you. So like if your friend shows up in a dream, it's an aspect of you that your friend is showing you in your life.
mm-hmm.
And it may be something you may not like about yourself. Like it may be very disturbing, and it might be something that's trying to get your attention.
Oh, got my attention.
Right. But it feels really very real to you, you said. So I'm also wondering if your body, because you are so sensitive, is just attuning to it and you're honoring it. What I heard you say is the alarm bell started going off when you were there and you left. You honored your body and you did not stay and force yourself to be there.
No. I was like, nope. In my mind, you people weren't going to be here, and you're here, and I don't want to be here.
Right. So like you're listening to your body, and like you can be with that dream, like that nightmare, write about it and like get the things out or not. You don't have to. You get to choose that.
Yeah. I think it was just a confusing feeling of like when you were saying, okay, if it's, too hard to process or your subconscious is like moving through something, right? When you're dreaming. Um, it just makes me think when I have dreams that intense, it's like, okay, are my parents safe people for me to be around? I don't know. And then I have dreams like that and I question, um, I don't know. I would have to sit with that
Yeah.
more.
And would you be willing to keep listening to your body? Because your
Oh
body
yeah.
has the answer and it was telling you Sunday and you left. So what if your
Yeah.
subconscious mind is wanting to purge some of this stuff so that you can then be in tune with your body's wisdom when you're present with whoever it is and
Mm,
listen to that wisdom so that you can follow that rather than the stories in your head. Because sometimes they start to create more stories or they start to, your brain just does this thing to protect you. It's great, it's beautiful, and it's not as wise as your body. It doesn't have access to 360 degrees of information. It
mhm,
has access to what's right here in front of it.
mhm.
So would you just keep checking in with your body and when you need to leave and it's a body no, you get the F out.
Yes. I very strongly, yeah, listen to that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's I definitely listen to it.
Hmm.
Sometimes I question, is it like my anxiety talking or is there like truth to this, you know? And I'm like, no, I think there's truth. Because I don't react this way to
Hmm.
other,
So would you be willing to ask your brain what else is possible? Because as soon as you go to, is this the anxiety talking or is this truth? Like you're already kind of limiting the possibilities.
mm-hmm,
So what else is possible? Because I also heard you say, is this my anxiety? Is it your anxiety? I know it's your what you're experiencing. I'm not denying it's something you are experiencing in your
yeah,
body, the feeling that you have. But do you want it to own you by claiming it as yours?
No, definitely don't want it to own me. And I guess that's too where I'm partly worried, where it's like, is it owning me? In the
Ah,
sense is the sense that, like, it's telling stories and I'm listening to that, or is there truth to it? Like, no, my body's in tune and I need to be listening to this.
well, what if we work on just shifting the languaging first? Is it my
Mm,
anxiety or the anxiety I am experiencing right now? The anxiety I'm
mhm,
experiencing and naming it as the, and
mm,
I can share an example because I grew up, I have scoliosis. So for years, I would say my scoliosis, and I would keep claiming it. No, I don't want the scoliosis to own me. I do not want it to define me. The scoliosis that I deal with, the scoliosis that's in my body. And now I continue what I see is I'm standing straight and tall with love. So it doesn't matter if I have scoliosis or not. It just is. I
mm,
don't allow it to limit me. But when you claim it as your anxiety, you're starting to, what I hear you saying, and please correct me,
mhm.
is this my anxiety guiding me or is this the truth? What else
Yeah.
is possible here? So you're kind of narrowing in on these two lanes. These are the only possibilities. Is this the
Mm,
anxiety or is this the truth? What if it's nothing of that altogether? It is just something in your body is being activated and it's
mm.
inviting you to be with it, to breathe some new life into you. Because your body always remembers, Emily. So it could
Yeah.
be something you don't even know that could be triggering it. It could be a smell. It could be a sound because our olfactory, our sense of smell is the strongest of our senses. So rather than saying, is it this or is it this? Huh, what am I making this mean?
Mm,
And just staying open to the possibility. What else could be possible? I'm going to do the muse method. I'm going to connect with what's here and just see if anything changes.
yeah. And I think I was pretty good with listening to that and like getting the
Yeah,
fuck out of there. Where I was like,
exactly.
I am not, I'm no, no.
Yeah.
And this is not what I want to be doing. I'm like not even mentally prepared for this. So yeah, that, I was proud of myself for that. I'm like, I'm not gonna make myself have this interaction.
Right.
There's no way.
So what if it is that simple, Emily? What you
I mean, it
experience,
could be.
right? So what if you just stay open and you just trust your body to guide you? Like know that your body knows deeply and it can tell you what is the way. And there's times, and I know we've talked about this before, you may need to go out of their energy. I'm not saying on Sunday, that's not the example I'm giving, but
Mm-hmm.
with other safe people, you need to get out of that energy into the bathroom, into a different room to
Mm-hmm.
check in, do the muse method, and decide if you are being called to stay. Is this opening up doors a possibility, or is this closing? Is this making me feel contracted and small? And then you choose based on the wisdom your body's saying. If that means you need to leave because for whatever reason your body just needs you to leave right now, you leave. I got to go.
Yeah. And I will give my body that it's pretty quick to, or I'm pretty quick to decipher, like, nope, it's telling me this, and
Yep.
we're gonna honor that. So I am thankful for that. Um, it was just, I don't know, unsettling. Um, yeah.
Well, and I'm wondering if you're getting after our conversation last week, I don't think it's a coincidence that has shown up, that there's deeper layers of you that are now coming up to be met.
Huh. I didn't even think about that. And that's why, like, you know, a dream, whatever, could just be a dream. I just felt deeply like there was something more to that. Like there was some message, like, I don't know what it was, but I felt like it was just telling me to be like, remember, this is not a safe person. I don't know. Maybe
And
it
that
was, maybe it wasn't, but that's just the feeling I got.
and
Or
that
to bring up some other stuff.
yeah, and Emily, honor. If whatever your body says when you're in their presence, honor it. That's it. That's all you got to do rather than trying to decipher
Mm,
if it's real or not real. I'm going to just listen
mhm.
to my body and I'm going to trust that my dreams are here to also guide me. That my muse has got my back and she is advocating for me and she's using my dreams and nightmares to purge things through me so that I can be more in tune with this instrument that I've been given to trust that it's going to pick up what I need it to pick up and I will follow.
It's interesting that you said like, oh, based on our session last week. And then, 'cause I had other weird dreams too, not as bad as that one, but I remember after the one with my dad, I was like, "Oh my God, this is like the third one in a row where it's just been like really like intense." I don't remember what the other ones were, but
Yeah.
they were all like that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious if that seems to be um, a cycle when your moon is coming where the dreams seem to intensify. Because if I,
Mhm.
based on like just my memory of what in our work together, it seems as if the anxiety heightens right before your moon comes and
Yeah.
it might be because of past stuff. So this might be another invitation of knowing that your body is heightened in anxiety before the moon comes. What could you do to honor whatever that is? Like, what support do you need? Keep doing the muse method. Like, you might need to do it even more during those days leading up to
Mhm.
your moon so that you can start to be with that energy that's here to move you because you're moving into winter, like in your seasons. If you look at your seasons, because we go through all four seasons every month as women. So you're moving into your winter. So, and I know winters have been hard for you. So I wonder if it's almost like an anticipatory shoot, I'm moving into my winter. I mean, I need to rest and resting has been more challenging.
That is so I've never heard that's I'm writing that down. I've never heard it. Um like with the fourth, I've not heard that before. So what would all of the seasons be?
So like, okay, so winter is like during your bleed when you're releasing.
Mhm.
That's your time to be in hibernation. So it's your body's way of telling you to rest because back in the day when we had red tents, women would gather when they were bleeding and they would be in the red tents and they would be cared for and nurtured and they would not be doing anything. They would be resting. They might create some art. They might, it's just very simple. And then after your bleed, after your moon, then you're in your springtime. So think about
Mhm.
springtime outside in nature where you're like starting to plant some seeds. And then the next week, so I'm going to go like first week is bleed, second week is spring, third week is the summer. So that's when you have like a lot of energy, you're super
Yeah,
creative. And then that fourth week would be your fall. And I think you said you love fall, you love the colors and
I do love fall.
so when you can start to track your cycle, you can start to follow the energy that shifts every month subtly. And women have this gift, men don't have this. Like that's why we're so in tune with nature. So just honoring when those seasons come so that you can really breathe life into whatever season you're in.
Wow. That's I don't know if I had mentioned the anxiety, obviously. But I also have a hormonal disorder. Tell me if have I told you this?
I don't recall that one, but
So that one's called PMDD.
yes, we did.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It has to do with your cycle.
Mhm.
Um, so it's I guess it would be after summer, after that, the transition. Um, like instead of, like a typical dip in mood, before you get your period, mine can sometimes have a bigger dip in the form of higher anxiety, just stuff like that. Um,
Mm.
luckily I've, with combination of a bunch of things. Um, that's been narrowed down to like going into winter, like what we were talking about, and just putting it to in like perspective. Like winters have been hard for me, resting's hard for me, and I didn't put that all together,
Mm-hmm.
and it just makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
And during that summertime, that's when I feel the absolute best.
Mm.
It's when I have the most energy. And thinking of it as winter, I've been trying to reframe my brain around winter because so many things for me are associated with winter that aren't
Right,
great.
right.
And I've been really working, like you said, the anticipatory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want there to be that anticipatory, like, oh, okay, this is gonna suck. Like, I don't want that.
Okay. So what do you want? If you don't want the anticipatory leading up to it, what do you want?
Um, I try to practice just acceptance. Like, I'm not gonna fight it. Like, it's coming. It is, what it is. And just to treat myself more gently
Okay.
during that time. Um, so like when you had mentioned, like hibernation, rest, and these are all the good things I think about winter too, right? Like we get a break. Um, so trying to form it that way in my brain
Mm-hmm.
versus like, okay, period's coming in like 3 days, like, I don't know. I don't want it to be associated with a negative thing.
Right. So you don't want the it focused on the negative. So what could you do to support yourself, knowing that there is some of that anticipatory kind of leading into the season?
Mm,
Could you meet yourself to support yourself?
that's a good question. Mm, let me sit with that for a moment.
Yeah. What if we do the muse method to sit with that?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so close your eyes. I'm going to invite something new. We're going to bring our hands, and I think we've done it before. We're going to cup our ears so that you can
Oh,
really just hear your sound. And now deepen your breath and connect and expand. And if you want to move your hands, move them when you want to.
okay.
And take 3 more breaths and just keep holding that question of how could you meet yourself and support yourself as you're moving into the winter season.
Mm.
And it's okay if you don't have an answer.
No, my one answer is just asking for support, asking for help. And that comes in the form of stuff with Tegan, like lightening the load, that way,
Yeah.
the
Awesome.
parental load,
Yeah.
which of course Will's more than happy to do. It's just me actually saying, hey, can you, please
Yeah.
take this over? And then, me resting or showering, whatever it is, just
Yeah.
that extra time is asking for that. Um, I've gotten better at asking for it, but not when it comes to this.
Right.
I'll just say something like, oh, like cramps are bad or whatever, but saying like asking for more support would be beneficial. Because like in my mind, if I knew like, okay, well, he's got her taken care of, that's like a huge weight, I guess,
Yeah.
off my shoulders.
Well, would it be supportive for you to even just to let him know, hey, once a month when I'm moving into my winter, like right before I'm gonna bleed, I really need some support.
Mm,
And if you could help with more stuff with Tegan during that week, so a couple days before and then during, that would be amazing. And I can try to remind you, and like you can just let him know, that it's showing up. And I even have, which I can send to you, the Celtic Wheel of Life. And it shows, it's a circle, right? But it shows like
hmm
winter, spring, summer, and fall. And you could literally put that out on the fridge and like put it on, like, well, this is what I haven't done it yet, but this is what I want to do. It's only for me, so that's why I haven't done it. But you have a family unit, I don't. Where you put like I think it's called a brad in the center where you could spin the wheel.
Yep.
So you could laminate it. So you cut the circle out, you laminate the back piece of paper, and then you laminate the circle, and then you put a brad in the center, and then you move it depending on what season you're in. So after you get your moon, you're moving into the springtime.
Mm,
So
hmm
you're just putting it in that so that Will can be aware of where you are and how he can best support you.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so I'll send that to you. And it'll help because it has more information on it, like, during your spring, you're in your pre-ovulation, summer ovulation, and then it'll just kind of show you where you are in your cycle. And it will also help Will support you really well because he wants to, but most times they just don't know. And now you're giving him the information so he can support you.
Yes. And yeah, I've learned with him too, like I just really have to verbalize, especially with his like ADHD and other stuff, it's like I have to be like, hey, could you
Yeah.
do this thing?
Yeah. So you know that, but then this way you can also give them a, hey, this is what I've started to notice. This is when I need the support the most.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
what I heard you say, and this is what we're also going to work on shifting, is, and we did this also with winter. So you said you don't want to feel that way before your period. So it's almost in a sense, you're judging yourself for feeling that way before your period comes.
hmm
Is that true?
Um,
Like, I don't want to feel this way. Like, you're making it wrong that you're feeling this way.
yeah, I guess I am making it wrong. Yeah.
And then I heard you say that you're trying to practice acceptance. And how's that working for you? What are you noticing in the trying of practicing acceptance?
When it comes to anxiety, it's good because I don't try to fight anything. I'm like, no, like it's
Okay.
it is what it is. Like I accept this is, what's happening right now and that's
Yeah.
just, how it is. And that has helped.
Cool. And I'm going to invite another little shift because that's what I do.
hmm
So, what if, and tell me if this is true, when you're trying to accept something, it requires you to do something. Is that true? Like you have to accept what is.
Yeah, I think for me it's just not like my knee jerk reaction is to panic and be like, no, 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 not that.
Yeah.
Um, so my acceptance just looks like this is fun. It is okay.
Okay, so being okay with it. Cool.
hmm
And what if, rather than accepting it and telling it it's okay, You allowed it.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to be here. And I know you're here every month to let me know what is to come. Thank you for reminding me. What might that do for you? Allowing it versus accepting it.
Allowing sounds better. Accepting, it just like accepting has helped, but it's accepting accepting, things are more difficult. Allowing to me sounds more like it's not a negative thing.
Hmm. It just is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you experiment with that this month as you start to allow it? And what that looks like is, I notice every time I have this anticipatory anxiety, I'm going to be with that anxiety because it's protecting me. It's
Mm-hmm.
scary going into winter. It thinks when I have to rest, it's wrong. So I'm going to be with you, anxiety, because I know you're here for me to breathe some new life into me. So I'm going to be with you and do the muse method. And then I'm going to open up and what are you inviting me to? Where can I
Mm,
breathe and expand more? And then go into those spaces where you feel like you can breathe and expand more. So the anxiety can literally move you to allow you to choose something new.
mm,
How does that, does that resonate?
I like that.
And this way, the subtle shift in what I'm hearing, like in this scenario, is when you recognize the anxiety is coming. I don't want to feel this way, so I'm gonna. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is what it is. Versus,
Yes.
you're here. Thank you. I know you're here for me. Thank you for protecting me. I know you're here to breathe some new life into me. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna allow you
Mm,
to be here, and then we're gonna. Okay, what are you inviting me to choose? Where can I breathe? Where can I expand? I need to go. Oh, yes, you're inviting me to go breathe and expand into some new space. And that might be a same space of walking outside, being with your chickens.
mm-hmm.
But you're honoring what's here in you and you're not denying it, saying, I don't want to feel this way. This is wrong or something else.
Yeah, because um I've noticed I've done that in my cycle where I'm like, okay, like for me, summer or ovulation week is like the best week because I feel the best,
Right.
you know? And I'm like, oh, I can't every week, like feel like this. Um, because it just feels it's great. But I don't want
Yeah.
to make those other things like, a whole week out of the month bad, wrong, because of like my mood shifting.
Well, and would you tell Mother Nature she's wrong for having all four seasons? Don't we need the seasons?
Yes.
So what if it's just you're learning to honor all of you, including the times where it's not quite as easy?
Yeah. No,
And
it's definitely not. Yeah.
and then you're bringing Will into the situation of, hey, during this time of the month, this is when I need the most support. And I'll remind you every month, and I'm going to put a little thing on the fridge so you kind of know where I'm at in my cycle, so you can support me. But I'm going to ask. I'll tell you. I'll let you know.
Mm.
Just to support him with the ADHD. You know what I mean? It's both and. Like you're advocating for your needs and asking for the help you need.
Yes. Yes. I do. I like that. Sometimes, like, well, I'll be like, oh, it's going to be here in a couple days or whatever. He's not going to remember. But, and that's fine. But, having that is a great idea.
Yeah. And it's a gift that we have because we are deeply in tune with the earth rhythms and men don't have
Mhm.
that connection that we have. So it is really a gift. Like that's why when I'm on my moon, I tend to make art with my blood because I want to honor that season and make something with
Mm.
that creation of what my body's releasing.
Oh, what is there anything else you do during that time that like honors that?
I will typically offer my blood because I do a cup so that I offer the blood to the land because women would bleed on the land back in the day before it became shameful and dirty and whatever the church did to it. So I offer it to the land or to grandmother tree. It's typically what I do.
Mm. I like that. Is there anything you do for yourself?
I do very little during that time, very
Mm,
little input. So I try not to take in a lot because my body's releasing. So it's really allowing me to just honor what's here. So I try not to have a lot of input. I might read, but I tend to do some more creative things of like coloring, taking baths, like just really honoring my body and slowing down. I don't work out during that time.
mm,
So
slowing
just,
down, yes.
yeah, just really slowing down and honoring that season. What do you think that could create for you of really truly allowing yourself to be there and honoring it?
Viewing it differently, with like how I've been wanting to view winter differently, like the slowing down
Yeah.
and seeing that as like a positive, because like I said, I don't want that part of my cycle to be like, oh, like, the shittiest week out of the month. Like I want it to be just as beautiful as like the other ones. Um,
Mm.
just figuring out how.
Well, and maybe that's a question you can start asking, Emily. How can I make
Mm,
this season beautiful? What would look beautiful for me in this season? And really checking in with what it is that would look beautiful for you and seeing what your body answers with. Because
hmm,
I want to just acknowledge you're not wrong in trying to like suppress the winter season. We have been taught to as women.
yeah.
So you're being radical and going against the grain by learning how to honor and ask your body what would be beautiful for me in this season.
Yeah, because I think it's just, finding out how for me.
Yes, exactly. And you can ask other women, like you did with me. You could ask other women what they do. Some women
Yeah.
would be like, they might be saying what you used to say. Cool. Awesome. I'm trying something new, and you can share what you might be trying or not. But you can
Hmm.
ask other women just to get other ideas.
Yeah. I like to ask people what they do because
Hmm.
some stuff I wouldn't have thought of.
Exactly. And then what it will do is it plants seeds of ideas for you to find your way, to make it your own and
Mm.
whatever that looks like.
Hmm.
So I love
Yes.
that. Ask some of your other female body friends.
Yes. And it'd be helpful too because a lot of people, or what, I know two close people of mine also have PMDD too. So, we're always looking for ways to, you know, make that easier.
Well, and I wonder if that is your body's way of adapting to the world that we live in, the PMDD. So
Mm,
your body's just trying to protect you in the only way it knows how, and the pain helps you to remember what matters. Because if you think about the seasons, fall is leading into winter. So
yep.
sometimes it's like, but I don't want to let go of summer. I want to stay in summer all the time. And now you're in fall. You're like, oh, fuck, summer's gone. Damn it.
Hmm.
But what if your body's kind of, in a sense, saying that in a way through the PMDD,
I mean, yeah, because it is, it's like holding on to, it's like, oh no, ovulation's done.
right?
Yeah.
So rather than, so even it sounds like it's both. It's like like during the autumn week, it's actually maybe even leaning in during that week when the
Hmm.
PMDD is the loudest to be with that and be like, and I love you. I know you're here for me. And continuing through the winter, but like really
Hmm.
kind of amping it up during that fall season, during that week.
Hmm.
And you get to experiment with it this next month, but you're in your winter. So now you get to experiment with winter and what would be beautiful for me this week and this season.
Yeah, especially tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah. And then, like you said, asking for help. That was the big thing that came through
That
for you.
was my big thing, is asking for help, support.
Awesome. So what did we cover everything you wanted to cover in our time together?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I don't even know if we got to where it was. So what are you walking away with from this session?
There was a lot of like different things, but going back to um being in tune with my body's wisdom and just like listening to that, and which, I have been, but
Yeah.
I was questioning myself, like, is this real, or is this, like, just my anxiety? So just, honoring what is, and like trusting that, because my body knows.
Yeah.
um and then a big thing too with my cycle is I've never heard it been talked about in the form of seasons, which I think is really beautiful, but also just connecting where I struggle with winter, which is what I struggle with,
Mhm.
with, these seasons, and putting that together, um, was pretty powerful. But also like reframing that. And, I really want the mindset of like, okay, well, how can I make this week beautiful? Like, yeah, there's some physical stuff that like comes with it, but I think asking other women will be really helpful, which is why I asked you, asked you what you do. And
Yeah.
um like honoring like resting is huge. Like I've toyed with like, okay, like, is it worth, just like taking a day off from work to just like be or whatnot, or something like that, like not push myself as hard.
That that
Yeah.
might be cool, Emily. So maybe you do play around with that.
Yeah, as one option. I don't know. But
Let your body lead. Let your body lead.
yes, I think just lightening the load,
Yeah.
though, for sure.
Well, and let's see. This is your week to experiment and see what it's like by lightening the load and really honoring the season and asking what would be beautiful in this season for you.
Yes. Yeah. Advocating for, yeah, for help.
Mhm. Yeah, because sometimes, like even like in one of my circles that I'm in, we'll share like when we're in our bleed, and then the other women that aren't in their bleed might send us some Reiki energy, or you know what I mean. And it's remote, but it's just like knowing that they're like with us. It's kind of like the virtual red tent.
Yes.
So, and it just is nice to be able to be open and honest with that with others, especially other women that are open to it. So,
I love that too,
yeah. So borrow it, use it, make it your
which is
own.
great, because I mean, I still will be Thursday for circle, so it'd be a great thing to like ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And then this is our last session that you have for the 12 sessions that we had scheduled. So I didn't know how you were feeling, if you wanted to continue working together. I'm here to support whatever is for you, Emily.
Oh, okay. Um, so what would that look like?
So we could do either another 3 months together, and we could do
Mhm.
two options where we are still meeting every week, which is what you might need at this season. Or we could start to shift into every other week. I've had that. And what I invite is we experiment with it, is we try it and see, does that work every other week? Or is it like, oh, actually, I still need the weekly support right now. Cool. Then you know. But if you can experiment with it, then you can say, it's kind of like, feel like it's like training wheels. You're going to take the training wheels off and
Yeah.
you're going to see, can you ride your bike? Yeah, I still need the training wheels right now. Cool. Let's put those training wheels back on and meet on a
Mhm.
regular basis. So, or if you
Okay.
want to just do like session by session, we can talk about like doing it like that.
Okay. Um, I'm just gonna write that down. Mm. I mean, I think every other week would be beneficial.
Okay. So
That's
let's
what
Yeah, that's what?
Well, that's what Will and I do for a therapist that we see, and it works out really nicely.
Okay. So let's experiment with that and see how that works for you. And then we can
Okay.
schedule that. And then just like before, so it would either be you can pay like per session or you can do upfront where you pay and you get the discount. So I'm gonna do yeah, 1,500 for the 3 months or 12 sessions, and then we could space it
Okay.
out. So if we do every other week, then it would be actually over 6 months.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then if it's I need more support, that's awesome too, and then we'll just shift it.
Okay,
Or if you want
great.
to do a monthly option, it would be 555 a month.
Okay.
And that would be 555 a month would be if we're doing it every other week, that would literally last you then that would be over 2 months because that's four sets.
Oh,
Does that make
got it,
sense?
got it, got it.
So it's
Okay,
500 per month if you're doing the 1,500 or 555 if you're doing um paying monthly.
okay. Let me talk to Will, and
Okay.
then I will let you know.
Okay.
Just so I'm,
Awesome.
not making the decision solo.
Yes. And then did you want to get the next one? Well, just confirm the next one for your next
Ye-
session.
Oh, the date? Yeah.
Yeah. So then if we're going to experiment with doing every other week, and what I would invite is since we're going to take the week off in between, is that next Monday, so which is Monday, March 3rd, it will be Emily honoring time. So during our normally regular scheduled time, you still have that hour of honoring you, just like we've been doing.
Okay, I love that.
So I'll keep it on the schedule, but then that first week will be Emily honoring time. And
No,
that will be every other week. And then the following week, which would be Monday the 10th, would be our
the 10th.
session. So I mean, in a sense, it's like you're still working with me every week, but this is your time on our off week to ask what would honor me this week. Is that going for
Oh,
a
I like
walk?
that.
Is it journaling? Is it coloring? Like whatever that is. And maybe you bring some stuff to work so it's there so that you can just keep that rhythm because you're already there and just keep that honoring time already like blocked out. Like no matter what, I'm still meeting with Jenny, so to speak.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't go back home. Well,
Okay.
that's not bad, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So I will update the calendar invite so that every other week it'll be Emily honoring time during our normal session time. And then every other week will be our session. So we'd start with March 10th would be the next one.
yeah.
And then you just pay attention, just notice, does that feel like a good rhythm for you? And just keep noticing. And if you're like, it's a harder week and you need more support, you can reach out and say, I could really use a session. Then we can put you back, and then I can put you back on for that Monday.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then after you talk to Will, just let me know what you guys come up with, and then we'll go from there. And if you want to do Venmo again, that's perfect.
Okay, yeah, that worked out. Yeah, very nicely last time.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will adjust the calendar and then I'll send you the goodies with the recording and the notes. Are the notes still helpful for you having
Yeah,
that?
yes,
Cool.
I save every single one of your emails.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I will send all of that goodness and then I'll also include the Celtic Wheel of Life
Oh, yes, thank you.
so that you can also, if you want to, print that out and then maybe put that out for you guys.
Yes, I love that too.
And what you're showing Tegan, like you're just showing her your way of being, of really honoring you being a woman and being in a female body that she also has or they.
Yes, because I don't want to make that wrong or shameful either for her, like,
Right.
yeah,
So it could be just a subtle way of already inviting that, even when she's young, she doesn't have to understand it. It's not about her understanding it. It's just about her just seeing you living this way.
mm-hmm. Yes,
And then
yeah,
it'll be her way of being. She doesn't have to try.
yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then I will see you Thursday. And just a reminder, you have the rain check from the last circle for this circle. So
Perfect.
you don't have to do anything. I've got you on the list. Um,
Yay,
yeah, and then and then just let me know what you and Will decide.
perfect. Thank you so much, Jenny.
You're welcome, Emily. Take
I'll
care.
see you Thursday.
Yes, I'll see you Thursday and not enjoy, find the beauty in your winter season this week.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.